We love to talk about how capitalism is evil, how black people are always the victims, how big brands, businesses, and employers are always out to exploit us. But what if instead of crying exploitation, we actually learned how to play the game? What if the goal isn't to burn the system down, but rather to understand it better and negotiate from a place of power? Some of us wear Air Jordans, but how many of us take lessons from the Michael Jordan and Nike deal? Air Jordans are not just comfortable, trendy shoes. They are also a story of how to win the game of capitalism. It's 1984. Michael Jordan is one of the hot young basketball prospects in the world. He wants to work with Adidas.
In the beginning, it could have been Adidas, not Nike.
Yeah.
Tell me how that went down. What was going on in your head?
You know what? The thing is, I never wore Nike shoes until I signed a Nike contract. All through college, we wore Converse. And up to that point, my favorite shoe was an Adidas shoe, you know. And at the time that everybody was starting recruiting me about what shoes to wear, I was pro Adidas, you know, the whole time.
Converse had big players and told me we cannot envision you being put ahead of them. Okay, fine.
Did you have a shoe company that you wanted to go with?
I was Adidas.
I like the Lakers, I like Marcus Johnson, and I like Adidas. I like Adidas shoe.
Nike wants to work with him, but he doesn't want to work with Nike.
He did not want to be there. And he had told his agent, I'm not going.
First rule of capitalism, each party is free to agree or disagree to work with another party. There's no forcing Adidas to work with Michael, and there will be no forcing Michael to work with Nike. It is a free market economy, and you have the freedom to choose to work with or not to work with someone. You see, at the time, Nike was considered a smaller, second-tier brand compared to Adidas and Converse. Michael Jordan wanted Adidas. He liked Adidas. He even told his agent, I'm not interested in Nike. And on top of that, he didn't like the feel of Nike shoes. The soles were too high. The fit wasn't right. It just wasn't his vibe. But his mother, Deloris Jordan, stepped in. She said, Michael, you're going to at least go and listen to what they have to say.
I couldn't even get him to get on the damn plane and go visit the campus. So I called his parents.
And my mother said, you're going to go listen. You may not like it, but you're going to go listen.
Mom, I don't want to hear her. I know what I want to do. I am not going to Nike's, Mom. I said, Michael, you have to give him an opportunity.
And she made me get on that plane and go listen.
And because she said so, he did it. Nike wasn't stupid. They knew they were not his first choice. So what did they do? They went back to the drawing board and redesigned the entire shoe just for him. They fixed the soles, adjusted the feel. They made something that matched his style and athletic needs. The second rule of capitalism is to understand that you are not the only one. Therefore, you need to do something extra to make yourself attractive to your prospective client. Whether you're an employee or an employer, you are not the only one. If you want the best candidates, make your company and offerings attractive. If you want to be hired by the best companies and given the best benefits, make yourself and your value attractive. If you're offering a product or service, be it food, a phone app, a delivery service, make your product or service attractive to your prospective client, just as Nike made themselves and their shoe attractive to their prospective ambassador, Michael Jordan.
When I negotiated the Nike deal, I said to him, you're a small company, and if you want Michael Jordan, he's got to have his own shoe line. Nike just come out with this new technology for their running shoes called air soles. And obviously Michael played in the air. So okay, I got it. We're going to call it Air Jordan.
And Jordan, that's got a pretty good ring to it.
I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a
Now, once Nike designed the shoe for Michael Jordan, then came the most revolutionary part. Mrs. Deloris Jordan told her son, you're not just going to take their money and walk away, you're going to ask for a piece of every shoe they sell with your name on it. That moment, that advice changed history for the Jordan family and even for Nike.
When Nike launched the Air Jordans back in 1985, they hoped to sell $3 million worth of product. Instead, they sold $126 million in 1 year.
There's a kaboom.
Look out.
What a jam! Here's Jordan down the middle all the way.
Much of that success was thanks to Jordan's incredible play on the court.
Kaboom! And that's what they came to see, didn't they?
Nike's expectation when we signed the deal was at the end of year 4, they hoped to sell $3 million worth of Air Jordans. In year 1, we sold $126 million.
I mean, it also changed the entire industry. It was the birth of Air Jordan, a deal that made Michael Jordan a billionaire and turned Nike into a global empire. You see, it wasn't just about talent, which Michael definitely had, which many people watching also have. It was also about knowing your value and having someone in your corner who refused to let you settle. Some talented, valuable people choose to settle and then they blame the employer, the brand, the whoever, or capitalism as a whole, forgetting that talent and value are not enough. It is also about how well you communicate and how well you negotiate. If Mrs. Jordan wasn't there, what would have happened? Michael might have signed for a flat fee, and years later, people would be shouting he was exploited, capitalism is evil, they used him because he was black. But fortunately, that is not what happened. Someone at the table understood the system and used it to their advantage.
She's an unbelievable woman. I mean, if I got anybody that's nagging me each and every day, it is her. And she constantly keeps me focused on the good things about life. You know, how people perceive you, how you respect them, you know, what's good for the kids, what's good for you, you know, how you're perceived publicly, second thought, take a pause and think about, you know, things that you do. That all came from my parents, you know, came from my mom. And she's still at this stage, and I'm 46 years old, she's still parenting me today. And that's a good thing about that lady. I love her to death. I love her to death.
Mrs. Jordan understood that her son was very valuable, more valuable to Nike than Nike was to Michael, and she communicated it and negotiated in line with her understanding. Nike didn't want to. Nike wanted to make as much from Michael while giving Michael as little as possible. That was not because capitalism is wicked. It was not because they were white. It was because they wanted as much profit for themselves as possible. You know, we have been made to think that exploitation is racial, but the truth is exploitation is human nature. People lie, they cheat, they underpay you, not because you're black, not because you're young, not because you're poor, but because they can.
Once I went through the presentation with Nike, you know, they really made a grave effort of trying to, you know, have my input on the shoes, design any shoes that I wanted to wear. But then I was very loyal. I went back to Adidas, the Adidas contract that I had, and said, look, you know, this is the Nike contract. If you come anywhere close, you know, I'll sign with you guys.
Give me something.
Just anywhere close to what they were putting on the table. But at that time, Adidas was a European brand product that they didn't really make a strong, you know, push for the States, and they didn't feel like it was worth it, you know, which in hindsight is perfect for me, because it made my decision that much easier, and I ended up with Nike.
If you don't know your worth, if you don't speak up, if you don't negotiate well, someone will always be happy to pay you less than what you deserve. That is not capitalism's fault. That is your responsibility. A while ago, one of my colleagues was moving on to a new job. In one of our last conversations, he hinted at his salary range, and I was stunned. He was earning 3 times what I was earning in the same company. Now, if he were white, I could have quickly blamed it on race, but he wasn't. He was the same race as me from a very similar background, and that forced me to dig deeper. As we continued talking, I realized something. He simply knew more than I did. He had been mentored, taught how the corporate world works when I wasn't. He knew what to look out for in an employment contract, how to ask the right questions, how to negotiate, how to position himself for better offers. I won't lie, I felt disappointed. Not in him, but in myself, because I had never been taught any of that. I was just grateful to be employed. I signed what I was given, but instead of sitting in that disappointment, I made a decision. I would take what he taught me and use it. And now I'm committed to sharing that knowledge with others, especially those who were never taught the rules of the game.
This famous mom stresses the importance of education.
You can have all the things, they leave you, but education is yours. People can take from you, but they cannot take that away from you. If you want a gift, that's a gift.
I've noticed that as I share the various principles that I know are key to making it in the capitalist or free market economy, many people complain and say, Katlego loves to oversimplify things. They're not that simple. But really, it is simple. When you don't know how the gears, the accelerator, the clutch, or the brake work, you'll always think that driving is so complicated. But once you know how these things function, you'll be more comfortable and even confident to steer your way to success. It seems, however, that even when you try to teach some people how to use the gears, the accelerator, brake, and clutch, they want to focus on how the engine is complicated. And you know what? It's their choice. You see, it's easy to be angry when you feel underpaid or undervalued, but the smarter move is to ask, what do those people getting the better deals know that I don't? What are they doing differently? What is their expertise? Because in many cases, it's not luck, it's strategy, it's exposure, it's knowing how to play the game of capitalism and play it well. So let's stop being bitter and let's start getting better. Let's learn, let's share, let's win. In conclusion, let's look at 4 keys to win in the capitalist system. Number 1 is be valuable. Michael Jordan wasn't just another player. He was electrifying. He was different. Whether your value comes from talent, skill, or even hard work, you must become so good that they just can't ignore you. Number 2 is know your value. Jordan himself didn't know what he was worth. He was ready to sign for less. It was his mother who saw the bigger picture. How many of us are signing employment contracts, freelancing rates, or agreeing to partnerships that are way below what we are worth just because we are desperate or afraid of missing out? Number 3 is speak up, be vocal. You need to ask the questions, negotiate. And it's not about arrogance, it's about confidence. You cannot be upset about being underpaid if you were never bold enough to ask for more. Number 4 is play your role as a parent. Can we just pause here and talk about parental influence? If Michael Jordan didn't have a mother who was sharp, assertive, and informed, we might not even be talking about him the way we do today.
I first met Michael Jordan in 1984. I actually went to North Carolina to interview Michael and his family to represent him. His parents asked great questions. They were very intelligent, extremely personable.
Behind many successful people, there's often a parent or mentor who taught them to think differently, ask for more, and not accept crumbs.
Nike made this big pitch. The father said, you got to be a fool for not taking this deal. This is the best deal.
In our communities, we need more Deloris Jordans, the mothers, the fathers, the mentors, people who will say to young, gifted Black, white, Indian, and colored kids, don't just take what they give you, become more valuable, know your worth, and demand more.
She is best known as the mother of basketball's greatest player, Michael Jordan.
Is that car? Is it racing?
But there is more to Deloris Jordan than just her famous son. She is on a mission to help at-risk kids through education.
I truly believe that without an education, that you are on the back end. You do not get the opportunity. The doors do close in your face. The glass ceiling comes around you, and I do share that with them.
By adopting 4 of Chicago's poorest public schools, Jordan took action by delivering programs that inspire children and their families.
I started working with some of the corporations saying, this is a school, need help.
Fellow South Africans, no matter what the Comrades have taught you, no matter how many evil business owners you have come across, capitalism isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. Lack of preparation is. Fear is. Please, let's learn the rules, let's increase and understand our value. And when you sit at the negotiation table, bring your Deloris Jordan energy, because the game isn't rigged. You just weren't taught how to play, or you're simply not good enough. But you can get to be good enough. Anyway, that's it for today. Please share this video with every young person, intern, and new business owner you know to prepare them to win this game of life. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and to support the work that we do, please join our membership or buy a hoodie or t-shirt from www.citizenconcerned.co.za. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.